The word synergy comes to mind. If you had a board, like a 2x4 or whatever they call those things, if a 2x4 could support a 100-pound weight without breaking, then does it make sense if you nailed two 2x4s together, it would hold how much? 200 pounds, right? No. The synergistic thing that goes on with two boards, if this one holds 100 and that holds 100, and you nail them together, that'll hold 250, thereabouts. And that's the way I think it can be with a couple or with two people, single distributors who team up and kind of work together cross-line. Somewhere in the scriptures it said, "Go ye forth 2 by 2." And the same thing applies in this business. We uplift one another, or always should. Everybody needs somebody else. A mentor, a lover, a husband. Well, wait. Not at the same time. No. But by ourselves, we will fall into the trap of questioning our ability. So if nothing else, get a book and read it that makes you feel better about yourself. Speaking of two boards nailed together, one board sometimes will work very well. This individual is an emerald distributor. He's been around since 2003, which proves something. It proves, among other things, that AdvoCare is a process. You don't work hard for a year and try to become a rising star, and if you don't make it, say, "That's it, I'm out of here." No. 7 years in the making. And from Orlando, Florida, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Emerald distributor, now rising star, Bob Ferngren. Bob.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
Whoa. Oh. Okay, this is hard enough to do without that, so hang in there with me. Oh my gosh, guys, they told me about this about 4 weeks ago, and I've done about 400,000 speeches in my mind, because what happened to me was, man, I just started thinking back and thinking about the journey and where I've been and kind of what's happened, and it's been an amazing journey in a lot of ways, but I have a spirit of gratitude on me right now, and I'm very emotional about that right now, so hang in here with me. But, you know, I never met Charlie Regis. I never had that feeling that some of the old-timers talk about, that Charlie would walk in the room and you could feel his presence when you're on the other side of the room. That's amazing, isn't it? I've heard his words and I've read his words and things like that. But I think it takes incredible courage for what the family did to protect this opportunity for us. And I'm forever in your debt. And you know, they did have to make a great decision too, because this company was looking for leadership a few years ago. And you know, when I really kind of studied this business for a long time before I got in, and I'll share that story with you guys in a little bit. But you know, what I found out about multi-level marketing companies is that in most companies, you're thrilled if they ship the products on time and the checks come. Everybody's kind of cool with that. In this company, we get so much more value. We get things like the Independence Bowl and Drew Brees and Women of Faith and Operation Homefront. And I think about the fact that we have former distributors running this company. I have just such a sense of gratitude that God found the right people to lead us. And guys, I got to tell you where we're going as a company. My head is exploding. I'm in leadership, and Richard sharing all these numbers up there yesterday, and you'll hear my story. I've been in big business my whole life. I wouldn't even tell you the numbers truthfully because some of this stuff is so good, it's almost unbelievable where we're at as a company. The trajectory of growth in this company is absolutely amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. But I have to tell you, I'm a former president of several large restaurant companies. It's kind of odd that I'm up here in a nutrition company, isn't it? Now I'm getting people thin. Boy, God had some plans when he grabbed me about 6 years ago. In any case, I understand business, and I also have a sense of gratitude about what our entire company does for us, whether it's our legal department. Our marketing materials are second to none, and I'm going to call that out. You go look at what other people do in direct sales, and you compare it to what we do, you guys can walk out of here so proud and so bold out loud with this opportunity. What you guys have your hands on is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And not only that, the products ship on time. My desire is to cause them a lot of problems at the home office. My desire is that the sales continue to grow at such a rate and that we have 3 times as many people and Richard at next success goal, and Richard has to find another place for us to put it. So that's my desire, and I believe that we can do that if we don't walk out of here today without signing up for next success goal. But there's other people that I dearly love and have made a difference for me in my life, and that's Florida. And And the first thing I'm going to call out is that, when I started 7 years ago, the state of Florida was not even in the top 15 in revenue and recruiting. Not even in the, I don't even think that I don't know if we were in the top 20. I have no idea. I ask those kind of questions because I came from big business. And while I want to recognize that we have lots of cross-line members, today the state of Florida is solidly number 3. And I see Wayne Johnson over there because Washington's number 2. And brother, we don't settle for number 3 in Florida. We just don't. And I got to tell you something else I'm most proud of is that within that group, we just don't represent the state of Florida. We have about 25 different states that are represented on my team. And something else I'm proud of, we represent multiple religions. We represent all sorts of races, and we also represent, there's 12 people over there who were literally born in another country, and today they're experiencing what the American dream is all about. Direct sales is an awesome business, guys. And I'm proud of them. But my journey in this AdvoCare thing, I didn't even start it. My wife is in a spin class. You guys know what spin is, stationary bike. Music's pumping and thumping, and the spin instructor's up there mixing up spark. Did you guys know that spark glows in the black light? So my wife goes up there, and the spin instructor gives her a few sparks. Turns out that it's Zebutar. And Z shares that with her, and I just want to call him out because not only does his wife get to be a stay-at-home mom from this opportunity, but he's a dad, and he gets to work from home, and because of this opportunity that was started 17 years ago, he gets to be a stay-at-home dad. And so my wife gets these packs of sparks, she sticks one in me, and I think it was about 3 days later, 8 boxes show up at my house. I don't remember anything about a marketing plan. I don't remember anything about, what's going on here, because I really wasn't paying attention. I did get on the product, what we call today a 24-day challenge. I ended up losing 38 pounds, 4 belt sizes in about 7 weeks, guys. That stuff was melting off of me like fat in a frying pan. And I'm taking it all wrong, too. I was taking that whole strip pack first thing in the morning. I'm shaking like a leaf for like 2 hours. And I thought that's how you lost weight in this company because I really wasn't involved. I wasn't paying attention. And but here's what, so here's the cool part. Before that credit card bill came in, because in my lifetime, my wife never made a big purchase without talking to me, and I've never made a big one without talking to her. She slapped down $1,500 on week one on the table and said, I've already sold $1,500. Z and I went out and did this. And before that credit card bill came due, she had paid it off. And so the products absolutely worked. And so over here, I'm getting results, and I'm trying AvoCare. You know, I'm not really doing AvoCare, but I'm trying AvoCare. And at the time, we're making between $1,000 and $2,000. Probably my wife's a lot more engaged. She's doing things like being on calls with weird people in the middle of the night. She actually, this is the truth, and people are not going to believe this over here. She actually went to like 3 success schools without me, and she finally drugged me to success school. And that was probably a really good idea on her behalf, or I probably wouldn't be standing up here right now. But so, you know, and what happened for me at that first success school, which was in Nashville, Tennessee, is that I got it up here. It took about 4 or 5 more success schools for me to get it in here, but I got it up here. I didn't even know how we got paid before that. I mean, I had no clue where the money was coming from. We earned a couple bonuses, but you know, Ron calls us up and says we're gonna be on a bonus call. I didn't know how that happened. I mean, we were just like shoving product at people and things are happening. We ended up going to Alaska. I'm not sure how that happened either. And maybe that's influence, but actually it's the power of the product and getting serious about it. So that's happening over here on the AvoCare side. On the other side, as I told you, my background is big business, and I'm the past president of several large restaurant chains, and where AvoCare finds us is I'm running 5 different businesses. I own a home in Michigan with equity in it. That's kind of oxymoronic, isn't it? I've got 2 kids in college, and I made the commitment to pay for their college. I have 0 credit card debt. I paid cash for the house that we lived in Florida, and I'm off running these businesses. Well, in a very short period of time, those businesses were failing miserably. And by the way, my name's on those businesses. And so when there's a shortfall, you know, I was funding shortfalls. I got 2 kids in college. I don't care if they're going to school in the state you live in. It's expensive to send kids to college. And, you know, for the first time in my life, I'm actually experiencing, you know, financial pressure. And this might sound goofy to you guys, but I've had a wonderfully successful life in the corporate world. I always had more money than month left. I don't really ever remember balancing my checkbook, to be honest with you guys. Big portfolio, which that crashed. And so now my life goes from a balance sheet that's strong on the asset side to I'm starting to amount debt at an alarming rate. You know, I don't know if this ever happened to you guys, but in your credit card bill, they send you a little check. You know, and I was filling out those checks. And I was, you know, to fund living, I was beginning to accumulate debt. And I actually fired up a line of credit. And suddenly I had stress in my life that I had never personally experienced. And so, you know, I know that life has peaks and I know that life has valleys. But then I found out that that life in the valley, there's even a basement. I think in a lot of that stress, my marriage was lost. And so, you know, here I am, I'm in my 50s. Kind of life's a little bit messed up now. I've done a lot in my own strength, and I just had to retool. You know, I had to reinvent myself. I had to take this opportunity, which was right in my face, and get serious about it. And there were really 3 things that, as I reflected back on it, one was forgiveness, and we talked a lot about that yesterday. I began to understand forgiveness, and I released anyone that I hadn't been forgiving my whole life. 2 was giving. You know, that's where I'm going. That's a guarantee. If I blink my eyes, I'm going to be there. But I had my own version of tithing. I don't know if any of you guys do, but I was kind of, you know, maybe it's the net, and maybe it's this number, and maybe it's that. I just, you know, it says this black and white over here, but I have my own version of tithing. As Jesus is my witness, the day that I tithed correctly, the hole stopped getting deeper. And as I continued to tithe, the hole began to fill up. That was my experience. The other thing I really had to do was to be grateful for what you know, what I had and to be grateful for the people that I had in my life. And I really began to understand things like things don't really matter. People matter. And